Warner Brothers has officially announced that a sequel is in development for the 2021 film Mortal Kombat. God. Let's talk about it. The 2021 edition of Mortal Kombat was released on HBO Max and in theaters last year. Honestly, I got some stuff I need to say about it. But before we get to that, let's just do a little brief history of the film series and why we are just now, 2 decades later, getting a film. Basically what happened was that in 1995, when the original Mortal Kombat released, it got great reviews. Everybody loved it. It had action. It was kind of true to the game, although there wasn't blood in it at all. For lack of a better word, the movie was good. So of course, the commercial success of the first movie, they were thinking about a sequel. Thus came Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Now let it be known, I actually liked this movie. I thought that it had all the characters that I wanted to see. It had Cyrax, Scorpions, it had Smoke, it had Sub-Zero. Hell, it even had Baraka. They had my man Baraka looking like he was working at Who Hut, but he was in the movie. Regardless, the movie was a giant flop. Now, us being kids at the time, at least me, I was a kid at the time, I didn't understand why there wasn't a follow-up film to Annihilation. It seemed to me it could only go up. And it also turned out that the lead actor, Robin Shaw, was signed on to 3 movies. But after the commercial failure of Annihilation, 3rd movie was canceled. And the movie got put in development hell for 2 decades. Did I say 2 decades? 2 decades. 20 years. So years go by. We keep getting games, but no movies. And that was until the short film Mortal Kombat Rebirth was released. And even though I thought it was mad corny, it eventually gave Warner Brothers the green light to start working on a new movie, which would eventually become the one that we would get in 2021. You all know how it goes. The script is written, it gets greenlit, and then we start filming. Or at least I think that's how it goes. I don't know. I don't work in movies. I just make YouTube videos. Anyway, fast forward to 2021, April 8th, a day I'll never forget. Because I was so excited to see this movie. Seriously, I am a big, and I'm talking about mega huge, Mortal Kombat fan. And I saw it and where to start? Now, before you guys think I'm just gonna tear this movie a new one, I'm not. I'm just gonna point out 3 things that I felt weren't necessary to put in the movie and 3 things that I actually did like about the movie. Let's start with number 1 on the bad list. Who the is this guy? Seriously, I have no idea who this guy is. When I first saw the movie and saw the character, I thought that he might have been loosely based off of Taven, son of an elder god, and he was first shown in the Mortal Kombat Armageddon game. But it turns out, after further research, no, this guy is just a totally new character that they built out of nowhere. Seriously, it made no sense. Am I the only one that was tripping about this? For a moment, I thought that he might have been based off of the character that was introduced in Mortal Kombat Armageddon in the Conquest mode, Taven. And if you don't know about Taven, here's a quick story. Taven was the son of an elder god and 2 elder gods, I believe. So him and his brother Dragon, I believe, him and his brother Dragon were set to be woken up at a certain time, and then they were going to go on this quest, collect these weapons, collect these armor, get all this experience, and then go defeat this monster called Blaze so that they could prevent Armageddon, which was basically a big, huge fight that was going to happen between the forces of good and the forces of evil in one single area and bring about the apocalypse. But little did Taven know, his brother woke up before he did, killed his parents, and basically formed the Red Dragon clan, and eventually tried to conquer the world and kill Taven before he could get to his armor and complete the quest. But of course, him being the hero of the story, he ends up killing his brother Dragon, killing Blaze, and basically, being the hero. Now, did you hear everything I just said? That sounded like a better story than what we got in this movie with this guy. But regardless, moving on to number 2. At times, the dialogue was mad corny, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. Like seriously, some of the dialogue in this movie just did not hit for me. Specifically when it came to Jax and when it came to Sub-Zero, saying corny shit like this.
Bi-Han. I am no longer Bi-Han. I am Sub-Zero.
Bruh, we know who you are. You don't have to say it. And
done 6 tours, motherfucker.
What does that have to do with this fight right now? Imagine if I went up to a UFC fighter and said, I'm a Green Beret. Like he gives a Honestly, after I heard him say that and then he proceeded to get his arms blown off, I did not feel bad for him. Call me an asshole, call me a jerk, I don't care. That was deserved. Moving on. Number 3. With the exception of the first fight scene where Hanzo Hasashi fights the Lin Kuei ninjas that, come into his village and kill his wife and his kid, every other fight scene, the angles switched way too quickly. The first fight is really honestly the only fight where we actually see what's happening from a wide view. But when we get to where he fights Bihan, or Sub-Zero, however you want to call him, the scenes were switched, the angles were switching so goddamn fast. I literally had trouble keeping up. And I noticed that that's been happening in a lot of movies nowadays where there's martial arts involved. I don't know if it's something about the budget or whatever it is, but keep the camera still. Seriously, I couldn't keep up with anything past the first fight. I want to be able to see what's happening. Let me calm down. Woosah. Just woosah. First good thing I liked, Goro. I mean, he was in the movie. The only reason I'm actually putting this in the win column is because Goro is a major character in the MK universe. So I like the fact that he was actually in the movie. I do not like the fact that he died in the movie so easily. Seriously, this guy is known as a beast that literally rips the arms off of people. And I didn't get that. I cannot be the only one that watched the movie hoping that he ripped off Cole's arms. But I'm not gonna be a hater. This is going in the win column. Number 2. The ideas behind how the heroes and villains actually receive their powers, I thought was a really good idea. If you don't remember, everybody in the movie that has powers carried the dragon mark. And this dragon mark granted you special powers once you awakened them. And the only way for you to get these powers is to kill a person with the mark, and then the mark transfers to you. That's actually a genius idea when you think about it, because it doesn't just set up a world where people automatically have powers. No. There's actually conditions, and the conditions is fighting, which is what the game's all about. Number 3. I actually really liked the way the characters were depicted in this movie, with a couple exceptions. I thought the guy that played Shang Tsung tried way too hard. Seriously, Shang Tsung is known as being really clever and being really cunning. And I feel like actor Chen Han tried way too hard to make him more ruthless, like he was the boss, when he's not. Shao Kahn's the boss. So really, Shang Tsung's whole thing is just about him being smarter than everybody else, on top of being, a psychopathic killer. Next was Raiden. Seriously, I have no idea why this guy was in the movie. He literally was no help at all. I didn't even like his look. Like, literally, they put no time into his costume. Like, it's just the hat. Like, come on. The hat and the eyes are really what they were trying to sell us on. If you've ever played the game, you really know that Raiden is a serious protagonist. He's really involved in what's going on. And I just didn't get that from this Raiden. Honestly, the highlight of this movie was Josh Lawson as Kano. I mean, this man was seriously comic relief, and at times he really saved the movie. I thought that his interactions with Liu Kang and Kung Lao were some of the highlights of the movie, because he really was making it less serious than it had to be. Fun fact, Kano being in the movie is actually why they decided not to put Johnny Cage in the movie, because Johnny Cage is what they considered a big personality. And they decided that it would probably be better to bring him in the sequel or give him his own standalone movie, which it seems like that might be a serious possibility. Kung Lao, I was ecstatic about. I honestly feel like they nailed it on the head. And we even got to see a fatality with the hat, which is what we loved. Honestly, if you think about it, I feel like they put so much thought into Kung Lao's character and put so little thought into Lord Raiden's character. Which isn't good, but if you ask me to choose, I'm taking a cold Kung Lao over a bad Kung Lao any day. And I hope he comes back for the sequel. Overall, this movie was shaky at best. I feel like there were a lot of things that they could have did better, and I feel like they honestly used the hype of it being a potentially R-rated movie to bring in fans and give us the gore and the extreme fight scenes that we love seeing in the games. But if you're asking me, did the movie meet expectations? No, they didn't. So honestly, really, what hope is there for the sequel? Now let me just say this, there is nothing wrong with having hope. But at the same time, guys, be realistic about this sequel. Warner Brothers announced recently, actually, that they're bringing in Jeremy Slater, the writer for the new upcoming Disney Plus miniseries, Moon Knight, to pen the screenplay. Which honestly sounds good in theory, but at the time this video releases, Moon Knight will not have come out yet, so we won't even know if the show is good. But, you know, here's hoping. Honestly, I love the Mortal Kombat series. I've always loved the games, all the way going back to the first one, which, you know, I had to play on an older system. We all did, but still. The 1995 and 1997 movies were not bad to me. I honestly thought that they were good. They were good for what they were. And this new movie, while it did deliver, I mean, technically they did give us a Mortal Kombat film. If you're asking me my preference, I honestly prefer the old ones. Here's to hoping for a better sequel. Thanks for watching.